Hi everybody, I'm Hub Arkush along with Kevin Fishbain for ChicagoFootball.com, reporting live from Soldier Field following the Chicago Bears' 27-10 victory over the Miami Dolphins in their first preseason game. But Kevin, I think the biggest story of the night was something that had nothing to do with the game. Alshon Jeffrey wasn't on the field, we thought, because of the shoulder injury he suffered late last week in practice. Turns out he has a calf injury, is in a walking boot. John Fox apparently called it day-to-day.
Yeah, he did. You got to be kind of careful with that. He also said Kevin White, they were hoping was day-to-day as well. So, the Bears hope this is going to be a short-term injury. Fox said he's in a boot, he's in crutches. They're just trying to do anything to speed up the recovery. But Hub, this is something that must have happened the day right before they came back to Chicago, because I tell you what, Alshon looked fantastic in the last practice we were at down in Bourbonnais. He's looked very good throughout the summer. You mentioned the shoulder injury kept him out of one practice, but this is something that's got to be a huge concern for the Bears, considering Kevin White is still on the PUP list.
Played very well following the shoulder injury. Came back that practice, came back the next day. Clearly the Bears can get by for a while without Kevin White. They cannot get by without Alshon Jeffrey. Now, as far as the football game, disappointing is the only thing you can say. Yes, they won 27-10. Very misleading. The first team defense was awful. Offense may have been worse.
Yeah, I think with the offense, you can cut them some slack. You can really cut slack on both sides, because the offense learned a whole new playbook. The defense learned a whole new scheme going against the Dolphins team. Has a lot of returning guys, kind of knows what they're doing at this point, but definitely a lot of sloppiness. Too many pre-snap penalties on the offensive side of the ball. You would think you wouldn't see that with an offensive line that's returned. I think John Fox was open about the big misplay on defense when they allowed a long run for the Dolphins, Lamar Miller. So things to work on. But I guess if you're going to take positives, the second team really picked things up.
And one of the big stories of the game for me, a lot of guys in the press box talking about Jared Allen seemingly comfortable at outside linebacker. The best player on the field for the Bears was Sam Acho with a sack and an interception. You have to wonder at what point the best players take over from the guys trying to make these position changes who you think should be on the field but maybe can't play their new positions.
Hub, it was interesting to see Acho made the interception when he's playing with the third team, and he's played with the first team, the second team, the third team, all of them in camp. Obviously, he has a lot of experience in a 3-4 defense, has looked pretty good in camp, and obviously looked great tonight. The thing with him in that position is we also got to remember Lamar Houston, Willie Young on the bench. David Bass showed a couple flashes today as well. But you're right, Acho is really one of the stars of the defensive side of the ball.
We don't ever want to make too much of a first preseason game. But lastly, Kevin, two things really jumped out at me. This team is dangerously thin at wide receiver and on the defensive line.
Yeah, we're going to continue to learn how thin they are with the wide receiver situation with Alshon Jeffrey. They started Marquise Wilson, Eddie Royal, and Marc Mariani at wide receiver. Below that, you get Josh Bellamy, Rashad Lawrence, guys that a lot of folks haven't heard of. You go to the defensive side of the ball as well. You look at the injuries there, and this is something, the Bears should be fortunate that the only real serious injury is Kevin White, assuming that Alshon Jeffrey's injury is really that minor. But they got to be careful on the defensive side of the ball, because, as well as the second team defense played as the game went along, there's still a lot of question marks there. Tracy Porter, somebody that was held out today, so the cornerback, some questions there, depending on when he comes back from his hamstring.
And for all that, the Bears are 27-10 winners. In the regular season, we'd take it. Tonight, just a little bit frustrating. For analysis of this ball game and the rest of the preseason, stay right where you're at, 24/7 at ChicagoFootball.com.